45. Talk at 227 Riverside Drive, New York. 11th May, 1912. Notes by John G. Grundy. It is only 3 weeks that we have been away from the New York friends, yet so great has been the longing to see you that it seems like 3 months. We have had no rest by day or night since we left you, either travelling, moving about, or speaking, yet it was all so pleasantly done, and we have been most happy. Praise be to God, everywhere and at all time it has been harakat, 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 motion, motion, motion. All the friends in America are very good. All the people we have met here are kind and pleasant. They are polite and not antagonistic, although somewhat inquisitive. A small minority of them seem prejudiced, yet even these have their good points. The American people have a real love for advancement. They are not content to stand still. They are most energetic and progressive. When you see a tree growing and developing, be hopeful of its outcome. It will blossom and bear fruit eventually. If you see dry wood or old trees, there is no hope whatever of fruitage. The questions asked us have been opportune and to the point. Our answers have not been utilized for controversy and argument. We met savants and learned men and satisfied them with our explanations. Important people expressed their satisfaction and pleasure at our replies to their inquiries. In brief, it would be difficult to find in the aggregate of people we met anyone who was dissatisfied. Some scholastic minds aimed only at fruitless discussion. In Chicago we met 2 clergymen delivering an address at the church of one and having dinner with the other. Both manifested great love. Likewise, among all the people we met, not a single soul arose in opposition or went away disappointed. Yesterday in Washington, we met a group of important people. One, prominent in political circles, came with a justice of the Supreme Court. There were many ladies of the diplomatic circle present. After we had spoken, the politician referred to raised the point that the foundation of all religions from time immemorial had been peace, love, and accord, principles conducive to fellowship and unification. Yet Jesus, he declared, had been the cause of discord and strife, and not a factor in the realization of unity. Therefore, he said, I cannot accept your statements and explanations that religion has been the source of human betterment. After we explained further, he said, what you have stated may cause me to change my views and agree with you. During this time, the justice remained silent. Fearing he might have some feeling of dissatisfaction, we asked if anything presented had been objectionable to his opinion. He replied, not at all, not at all. It's all right. It's all right. This is the characteristic expression of the Occident. All right. All right. There were also present at this meeting several cabinet officers, United States senators, many from the foreign diplomatic service, army and navy officials, and other dignitaries. The servant of God, our hostess, experienced much trouble in preparation and entertainment, but was always active and energetic in service, inviting important and influential people to the gatherings. We spoke to all from their own standpoints, with most satisfactory results. We were working day and night, so there was very little time for individual and private interviews. In Washington, too, we called a meeting of the blacks and whites. The attendance was very large, the blacks predominating. At our second gathering this was reversed, but at the third meeting we were unable to say which colour predominated. These meetings were a great practical lesson upon the unity of colours and races in the Bahá'í teaching. We said, in part, the black man must be ever grateful to the white man, for he has manifested great courage and self-sacrifice in behalf of the black race. 4 years he fought their cause, enduring severe hardships, sacrificing life, family, treasure, all for his black brother, until the Great War ended in the proclamation of freedom. By this effort and accomplishment, the black race throughout the world was influenced and benefited. Had this not been accomplished, the black man in Africa would still be bound by the chains of slavery. Therefore his race should everywhere be grateful, for no greater evidence of humanism and courageous devotion could be shown than the white man has displayed. If the blacks of the United States forget this sacrifice, zeal, and manhood on the part of the whites, no ingratitude could be greater or more censurable. If they could see the wretched conditions and surroundings of the black people of Africa today, the contrast would be apparent, and the fact clearly evident that the black race in America enjoys incomparable advantages. The comfort and civilization under which they live here are due to the white man's effort and sacrifice. Had this sacrifice not been made, they would still be in the bonds and chains of slavery, scarcely lifted out of an aboriginal condition. Therefore always show forth your gratitude to the white man. Eventually, all differences will disappear, and you will completely win his friendship. God maketh no distinction between the white and the black. If the hearts are pure, both are acceptable unto him. God is no respecter of persons on account of either colour or race. All colours are acceptable to him, be they white, black, or yellow. Inasmuch as all were created in the image of God, we must bring ourselves to realize that all embody divine possibilities. If you go into a garden and find all the flowers alike in form, species, and colour, the effect is wearisome to the eye. The garden is more beautiful when the flowers are many-coloured and different. The variety lends charm and adornment. In a flock of doves, some are white, some black, red, blue, yet they make no distinction among themselves. All are doves, no matter what the colour. This variety in forms and colourings, which is manifest in all the kingdoms, is according to creative wisdom and has a divine purpose. Nevertheless, whether the creatures be all alike or all different should not be the cause of strife and quarrelling among them. Especially, why should man find cause for discord in the colour or race of his fellow creature? No educated or illumined mind will allow that this differentiation and discord should exist, or that there is any ground for it. Therefore, the whites should be just and kind to the blacks, who in turn should reflect an equal measure of appreciation and gratitude. Then will the world become as one great garden of flowering humanity, variegated and multicoloured, rivaling each other only in the virtues and graces which are spiritual. 46. Talk at Unity Church. 12th May 1912. Montclair, New Jersey. Notes by Esther Foster. I wish to speak upon the subject of divine unity, the oneness of God, before this revered assemblage. It is a self-evident fact that phenomenal existence can never grasp nor comprehend the ancient and essential reality. Utter weakness cannot understand absolute strength. When we view the world of creation, we discover differences in degree which make it impossible for the lower to comprehend the higher. For example, the mineral kingdom, no matter how much it may advance, can never comprehend the phenomena of the vegetable kingdom. Whatever development the vegetable may attain, it can have no message from nor come in touch with the kingdom of the animal. However perfect may be the growth of a tree, it cannot realize the sensation of sight, hearing, smell, taste and touch. These are beyond its limitation. Although it is the possessor of existence in the world of creation, a tree, nevertheless, has no knowledge of the superior degree of the animal kingdom. Likewise, no matter how great the advancement of the animal, it can have no idea of the human plane, no knowledge of intellect and spirit. Difference in degree is an obstacle to this comprehension. A lower degree cannot comprehend a higher, although all are in the same world of creation, whether mineral, vegetable, or animal. Degree is the barrier and limitation. In the human plane of existence, we can say we have knowledge of a vegetable, its qualities and product, but the vegetable has no knowledge or comprehension whatever of us. No matter how near perfection this rose may advance in its own sphere, it can never possess hearing and sight. Inasmuch as in the creational world, which is phenomenal, difference of degree is an obstacle or hindrance to comprehension, how can the human being, which is a created exigency, comprehend the ancient divine reality, which is essential? This is impossible, because the reality of divinity is sanctified beyond the comprehension of the created being, man. Furthermore, that which man can grasp is finite to man, and man to it is as infinite. Is it possible then for the reality of divinity to be finite and the human creature infinite? On the contrary, the reverse is true. The human is finite, while the essence of divinity is infinite. Whatever comes within the sphere of human comprehension must be limited and finite. As the essence of divinity transcends the comprehension of man, therefore God brings forth certain manifestations of the divine reality, upon whom he bestows heavenly effulgences, in order that they may be intermediaries between humanity and himself. These holy manifestations, or prophets of God, are as mirrors which have acquired illumination from the Sun of Truth. But the sun does not descend from its high zenith and does not effect entrance within the mirror. In truth, this mirror has attained complete polish and purity until the utmost capacity of reflection has been developed in it. Therefore, the Sun of Reality, with its fullest effulgence and splendor, is revealed therein. These mirrors are earthly, whereas the reality of divinity is in its highest apogee. Although its lights are shining and its heat is manifest in them, although these mirrors are telling their story of its effulgence, the sun, nevertheless, remains in its own lofty station. It does not descend. It does not effect entrance, because it is holy and sanctified. The Sun of Divinity and of Reality has revealed itself in various mirrors. Though these mirrors are many, yet the Sun is one. The bestowals of God are one. The reality of the divine religion is one. Consider how one and the same light has reflected itself in the different mirrors or manifestations of it. There are certain souls who are lovers of the sun, They perceive the effulgence of the sun from every mirror. They are not fettered or attached to the mirrors. They are attached to the sun itself and adore it, no matter from what point it may shine. But those who adore the mirror and are attached to it become deprived of witnessing the light of the sun when it shines forth from another mirror. For instance, the sun of reality revealed itself from the Mosaic mirror. The people who were sincere accepted and believed in it. When the same sun shone from the Messianic mirror, the Jews, who were not lovers of the sun and who were fettered by their adoration of the mirror of Moses, did not perceive the lights and effulgences of the sun of reality resplendent in Jesus. Therefore, they were deprived of its bestowals. Yet the sun of reality, the Word of God, shone from the Messianic mirror through the wonderful channel of Jesus Christ more fully and more wonderfully. Its effulgences were manifestly radiant, but even to this day the Jews are holding to the Mosaic mirror. Therefore, they are bereft of witnessing the lights of eternity in Jesus. In brief, the sun is one sun, the light is one light which shines upon all phenomenal beings. Every creature has a portion thereof, but the pure mirror can reveal the story of its bounty more fully and completely. Therefore, we must adore the light of the sun, no matter through what mirror it may be revealed. We must not entertain prejudice, for prejudice is an obstacle to realization. Inasmuch as the effulgence is one effulgence, the human realities must all become recipients of the same light, recognizing in it the compelling force that unites them in its illumination. As this is the radiant century, it is my hope that the Sun of Truth may illumine all humanity. May the eyes be opened and the ears become attentive. May souls become resuscitated and consort together in the utmost harmony as recipients of the same light. Perchance, God will remove this strife and warfare of thousands of years. May this bloodshed pass away, this tyranny and oppression cease, this warfare be ended. May the light of love shine forth and illumine hearts, and may human lives be cemented and connected until all of us may find agreement and tranquility beneath the same tabernacle, and with the standard of the most great peace above us, move steadily onward. O thou kind Lord, O thou who art generous and merciful, we are the servants of thy threshold, and are gathered beneath the sheltering shadow of thy divine unity. The sun of thy mercy is shining upon all, and the clouds of thy bounty shower upon all. Thy gifts encompass all, thy loving providence sustains all, thy protection overshadows all, and the glances of thy favour are cast upon all. O Lord, grant thine infinite bestowals, and let the light of thy guidance shine. Illumine the eyes, gladden the hearts with abiding joy. Confer a new spirit upon all people, and bestow upon them eternal life. Unlock the gates of true understanding, and let the light of faith shine resplendent. Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. May they drink from the same fountain. May they be refreshed by the same breeze. May they receive illumination from the same source of light. Thou art the giver, the merciful, the omnipotent. 47. Talk at meeting of International Peace Forum, Grace Methodist Episcopal Church. 12th May 1912. West 104th Street, New York. Notes by S. 51. Talk at Woman's Suffrage Meeting, Metropolitan Temple. 20th May 1912. 7th Avenue and 14th Street, New York. Notes by Esther Foster. Today, questions of the utmost importance are facing humanity. Questions peculiar to this radiant century. In former centuries, there was not even mention of them. Inasmuch as this is the century of illumination, the century of humanity, the century of divine bestowals, these questions are being presented for the expression of public opinion, and in all the countries of the world, discussion is taking place looking to their solution. One of these questions concerns the rights of woman and her equality with man. In past ages, it was held that woman and man were not equal. That is to say, woman was considered inferior to man, even from the standpoint of her anatomy and creation. She was considered especially inferior in intelligence, and the idea prevailed universally that it was not allowable for her to step into the arena of important affairs. In some countries, man went so far as to believe and teach that woman belonged to a sphere lower than human. But in this century, which is the century of light and the revelation of mysteries, God is proving to the satisfaction of humanity that all this is ignorance and error. Nay, rather, it is well established that mankind and womankind, as parts of composite humanity, are co-equal, and that no difference in estimate is allowable, for all are human. The conditions in past centuries were due to woman's lack of opportunity. She was denied the right and privilege of education and left in her undeveloped state. Naturally, she could not and did not advance. In reality, God has created all mankind, and in the estimation of God there is no distinction as to male and female. The one whose heart is pure is acceptable in his sight, be that one man or woman. God does not inquire, art thou woman or art thou man? He judges human actions. If these are acceptable in the threshold of the glorious one, man and woman will be equally recognized and rewarded. Furthermore, the education of woman is more necessary and important than that of man, for woman is the trainer of the child from its infancy. If she be defective and imperfect herself, the child will necessarily be deficient. Therefore, imperfection of woman implies a condition of imperfection in all mankind, for it is the mother who rears, nurtures, and guides the growth of the child. This is not the function of the father. If the educator be incompetent, the educated will be correspondingly lacking. This is evident and incontrovertible. Could the student be brilliant and accomplished if the teacher is illiterate and ignorant? The mothers are the first educators of mankind. If they be imperfect, alas, for the condition and future of the race. Again, it is well established in history that where woman has not participated in human affairs, the outcomes have never attained a state of completion and perfection. On the other hand, every influential undertaking of the human world, wherein woman has been a participant, has attained importance. This is historically true, and beyond disproof even in religion. Jesus Christ had 12 disciples, and among his followers a woman known as Mary Magdalene. Judas Iscariot had become a traitor and hypocrite, and after the crucifixion the remaining 11 disciples were wavering and undecided. It is certain from the evidence of the Gospels that the one who comforted them and re-established their faith was Mary Magdalene. The world of humanity consists of 2 parts, male and female. Each is the complement of the other. Therefore, if one is defective, the other will necessarily be incomplete, and perfection cannot be attained. There is a right hand and a left hand in the human body, functioning equally in service and administration. If either proves defective, the defect will naturally extend to the other by involving the completeness of the whole. For accomplishment is not normal unless both are perfect. If we say one hand is deficient, we prove the inability and incapacity of the other. For single-handed, there is no full accomplishment. Just as physical accomplishment is complete with 2 hands, so man and woman, the 2 parts of the social body, must be perfect. It is not natural that either should remain undeveloped, and until both are perfected, the happiness of the human world will not be realized. The most momentous question of this day is international peace and arbitration, and universal peace is impossible without universal suffrage. Children are educated by the women. The mother bears the troubles and anxieties of rearing the child, undergoes the ordeal of its birth and training. Therefore, it is most difficult for mothers to send to the battlefield those upon whom they have lavished such love and care. Consider a son reared and trained 20 years by a devoted mother. What sleepless nights and restless, anxious days she has spent. Having brought him through dangers and difficulties to the age of maturity, how agonizing then to sacrifice him upon the battlefield. Therefore, the mothers will not sanction war, nor be satisfied with it. So it will come to pass that when women participate fully and equally in the affairs of the world, when they enter confidently and capably the great arena of laws and politics, war will cease, for woman will be the obstacle and hindrance to it. This is true and without doubt. It has been objected by some that woman is not equally capable with man, and that she is deficient by creation. This is pure imagination. The difference in capability between man and woman is due entirely to opportunity and education. Heretofore, woman has been denied the right and privilege of equal development. If equal opportunity be granted her, there is no doubt she would be the peer of man. History will evidence this. In past ages, noted women have arisen in the affairs of nations and surpassed men in their accomplishments. Among them was Zenobia, Queen of the East, whose capital was Palmyra. Even today, the sight of that city bears witness to her greatness, ability, and sovereignty. For there the traveller will find ruins of palaces and fortifications of the utmost strength and solidity built by this remarkable woman in the 3rd century after Christ. She was the wife of the Governor-General of Athens. After her husband's death, she assumed control of the government in his stead and ruled her province most efficiently. Afterward she conquered Syria, subdued Egypt, and founded a most wonderful kingdom with political sagacity and thoroughness. The Roman Empire sent a great army against her. When this army, replete with martial splendor, reached Syria, Zenobia herself appeared upon the field, leading her forces. On the day of battle, she arrayed herself in regal garments, placed a crown upon her head, and rode forth sword in hand to meet the invading legions. By her courage and military strategy, the Roman army was routed and so completely dispersed that they were not able to reorganize in retreat. The government of Rome held consultation, saying, "No matter what commander we send, we cannot overcome her. Therefore, the Emperor Aurelian himself must go to lead the legions of Rome against Zenobia." Aurelian marched into Syria with 200,000 soldiers. The army of Zenobia was greatly inferior in size. The Romans besieged her in Palmyra 2 years without success. Finally, Aurelian was able to cut off the city's supply of provisions, so that she and her people were compelled by starvation to surrender. She was not defeated in battle. Aurelian carried her captive to Rome. On the day of his entry into the city, he arranged a triumphal procession. First elephants, then lions, tigers, birds, monkeys, and after the monkeys, Zenobia. A crown was upon her head, a chain of gold about her neck. With queenly dignity and unconscious of humiliation, looking to the right and left, she said, "Verily, I glory in being a woman and in having withstood the Roman Empire." At that time, the dominion of Rome covered half the known earth, and this chain about my neck is a sign not of humiliation, but of glorification. This is a symbol of my power, not of my defeat. Among other historical women was Catherine I, wife of Peter the Great. Russia and Turkey were at war. Mohammed Pasha, commander of the Turkish forces, had defeated Peter and was about to take St. Petersburg. The Russians were in a most critical position. Catherine, the wife of Peter, said, "I will arrange this matter." She had an interview with Mohammed Pasha, negotiated a treaty of peace, and induced him to turn back. She saved her husband and her nation. This was a great accomplishment. Afterward, she was crowned Empress of Russia and ruled with wisdom until her death. The discovery of America by Columbus was during the reign of Isabella of Spain, to whose intelligence and assistance this wonderful accomplishment was largely due. In brief, many remarkable women have appeared in the history of the world, but further mention of them is not necessary. Today, among the Baha'is of Persia, there are many women who are the very pride and envy of the men. They are imbued with all the virtues and excellences of humanity. They are eloquent, they are poets and scholars, and embody the quintessence of humility. In political ability and acumen, they have been able to cope and compete with representative men. They have consecrated their lives and forfeited their possessions in martyrdom for the sake of humanity, and the traces of their glory will last forever. The pages of the history of Persia are illumined by the lives and records of these women. The purpose, in brief, is this, that if woman be fully educated and granted her rights, she will attain the capacity for wonderful accomplishments and prove herself the equal of man. She is the coadjutor of man, his complement and helpmeet. Both are human, both are endowed with potentialities of intelligence and embody the virtues of humanity. In all human powers and functions, they are partners and co-equals. At present, in spheres of human activity, woman does not manifest her natal prerogatives owing to lack of education and opportunity. Without doubt, education will establish her equality with men. Consider the animal kingdom, where no distinction is observed between male and female. They are equal in powers and privileges. Among the birds of the air, no distinction is evidenced. Their powers are equal. They dwell together in complete unity and mutual recognition of rights. Shall we not enjoy the same equality? Its absence is not befitting to mankind.